about 10 minutes to 10 o'clock. I said to you that day, maybe. I said to you that day when we did that thing out at
the housing thing, yeah.
This, I reckon, is the best Australian rock and roll.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Tremendous thing. I think you're right, you know, not being biased. I try not to be as biased as I can. I listen to it, and there's something alive in it. You know,
it's an totally individual song.
I've never heard anything like it. No, you know that? No, I've never. No. The songwriter, like Johnny Mariscalco, he actually wrote, and I'll tell a story on here if you want me to. He wrote a few songs for Fats Domino. Yeah. And he was in the shower one time, and
did he write Shout?
No, he didn't write Shout. No, that was the Isley Brothers.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. He wrote a few for Fats, and he was Fats had just released Blueberry Hill, and he was in the shower and he was saying, "I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill," and somehow he wavered off into writing. Coming up with this song, right? So he pitched it to him, to Fats, and Fats wanted to do it, but they wanted all the royalties. They were screwing him down. So he said, "Oh, forget it." So nothing happened until I actually heard it on a acetate and decided to record it. But I did it so different. To whatever he imagined, because he wanted it just like that. That's all I heard was the piano player.
It's not that sort of song.
Nothing. That's right. And so he said to me, he said, it's just so exciting what you've done with it. You know, he said, I still can't believe it. Yeah.
The baby into the studio. He's in town tonight, of course, for the concert at the Embassy. Lonnie, morning. Welcome to Perth.
Good morning. Thank you, Peter. Lovely to see you again.
Yes. Last time we were doing an OV, weren't we, out at Arcadia Waters? Well, a couple of weeks ago. It's finished. They had the grand opening of the whole thing. Yes.
Wow, that's a monstrous project.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's like a 5-star hotel.
Yes, just fantastic. Right. Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah.
Now, a couple of things I want to talk about. First of all, see, because we play a serial at 10:30 in the morning, and if it's a minute late, they all wake up and they say, "When the hell's the serial?" Did that bring back some memories when you were like me at home at night doing your homework?
Yes, it really did, and it's a shame the kids don't really experience that too much these days, you know, because these are the things that got our imagination going. Because you listen to those things, you know, all the detective ones of the days, I forget the name.
There was Address Unknown, and there was Boney and The Shadow.
The Shadow, that's right. Yeah. All of those guys. And so you just listen to it, and the whole imagination, so you had like the TV in your brain. Whereas today you just sit in front of the TV and there it is there, you haven't got to think about it. But it was a wonderful medium, and I'm so pleased that places are still doing it.
They love it. Yeah, they absolutely love it. And we had one when I first started doing this about 4 years ago, which seemed to go on forever and ever. And it was just the most amazing, because people, like if you were 30 seconds late,
where is it?
All the little lights would light up. They'd say, "What the hell are you doing?"
That's right. Now, while you're saying this, I remember there was one, and it was like episode 5796, When a Girl Marries.
Yes.
Remember that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we had the Castlereagh line. And
the Castlereagh line, that was a good one.
900 episodes or something, I think.
Yeah, that was
I thought I was going to be on the pension and long service. Now, what fascinates me is Starlight Starbright, which, as I mentioned to you last time, it's my favourite Australian rock and roll song.
Thank you.
Now you've got Can't You See It in My Eyes, which is, I don't know how many years later, but I love this. I think this is
thank you.
Top class, absolutely top class song.
Oh, thank you. I love the song, and it's written by the same guy as that wrote Starlight Starbright, a guy called John Mariscalco. And he's quite an elderly guy. Well, not so much elderly, I suppose. Yeah, well, that's true. That's why I said it's not so much elderly. Just a senior man, you know. But he's quite frail, and I suppose he's maybe 75, 78, something like that. But he's very frail. And I just last year I was back in the Hollywood Hills, and that's where he lives. And I thought I'd pop in and see him, so we did. And I said, "John, just by any chance, would you happen to have any songs I can listen to? Because I'm thinking of doing another album, you know." And he said, "Yes, I got 3 songs." So I said, "Okay, will you play them to me?" So he played them to me, and this was the first one. And I heard it, and it was just a guy playing a guitar. But as soon as I heard it, I thought, "Oh, what a gorgeous song, what a lovely melody, and beautiful words." So I thought to myself, while it's playing, I thought to myself, I just got to record this song. I haven't been impressed with a song like that, maybe since Starlight Starbright and a few of the others that have passed through my life. And anyway, I went to Nashville a couple of days later, got with my friends, Bobby Babbitt from the Standing in the Shadows of Motown, and Wayne Jackson from the Memphis Horns, and a few other of my buddies, and we recorded it. And the more I got involved in this song, the more I thought, this song's definitely for me. There's a chance if it ever does get played on radio, which is hard for someone like, someone who's been around for as long as I have. Anyway, we came back to Australia, we recorded it. I put Tony Burkees, my guitar player from the Lee Men, and we released it. And I've had, it's just done wonderful things for me. It really has. And I'm so pleased that you like it.
I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can tell you from the listeners' reaction from the request to play it.
Oh, wonderful.
It's a beautiful song. Just for the benefit of our listeners, like when you were talking to him about buying the song, or did he have the song? How do you go through the negotiations? Like he says, yeah, it's a nice song, you can have it. So
Right.
do you buy it then?
Yes. Now what actually happens is his remuneration comes from, and most songwriters, well, there are maybe some that do it a little bit differently, but in general terms, this is how it goes. I'm as a singer, and I'm looking for a song. I either go to the composer if I happen to know it, like in this case I know John, or I go to a publishing house and I say, listen, I'm looking for this type of song. And they say, well, exactly what sort of song is it, that you want? And then they'll shuffle through the songs, whereas John gave me the 3 different songs that he had. And if it's agreed, okay, I want to record it, and they say, okay, we'd like you to record it. Usually, that's as far as it goes from that negotiation between the singer and the publishing house or the composer. I just go ahead and do it. Now, what happens? I've got to notify like a union body. It's called
like APRA. APRA.
That's right, exactly. In this country it's APRA, and over there it's BMI or ASCAP. In Europe it's CSAC. And I let them know that I'm recording this song. So once that happens, that body sets up a file in their database. Now, when you play it on radio here and you do your logs that goes to APRA, it says in there, played Lonnie Lee's Can't You See It in My Eyes at X amount of time. They get it, they log it into their thing, and that money then, the whatever he gets, that goes to him, and that's how he gets the money. And it's only the composer and the publisher that gets the money. I don't get any money at all, or a singer doesn't get any money a song is played. The only remuneration a singer gets is when the CD is sold.
When the CD is sold, Just tell me out of curiosity as well now, at your age, I mean we're not fooling around, but at your age, how tough is it for you to get promotion, to get airplay on stations that aren't, for example, like here? I mean, I was saying to you off air, I mean, I'll play you, I'll play Maria Callas, I'll play Glenn Miller, I don't mind. So long as it's a good song, it's a good song, regardless of who sings it.
That's how it should be.
But how tough is it in the commercial market?
Oh, God. Let me tell you.
How long have you got?
Oh, dear. Have you seen, look at my wrists. See the marks on my wrists? No, it's really, really difficult. It really is. In fact, it's beyond even imagination. I try to tell some of the people after the shows that come up, or people who write to us, send me emails or whatever, and they say, I can't hear the song. I call the station umpteen times, they say they're not going to play it. Why not? And I got to try and explain to them why they don't. And it's very difficult coming up with a very logical explanation, because the explanations are very, very biased. They're not logical at all. Now, for example, there's a station in Sydney that plays, they call themselves Hits and Memories, right? So they play all the old songs as well as every now and then a new hit, which is very similar. And so this, up to about 10 years, 12 years ago, they used to play Starlight Starlight Bright and all my old big hits because I was a memory, right? But what happens is every year, they only go back like 25 years. So every year that goes forward, like next year it's 2006, they'll drop off a year back there. So when it goes back 25. So all those songs that you happen to like in that year, you're not going to hear again on this station because they won't play them, that they're moving ahead. So that's what happens. Now, we called up and said, okay, this is a new song, it's getting play on lots of other stations around the place. Would you be interested in playing it? We end up talking to someone that's like 28 or 32 or something, and of course wasn't around when I was around, and doesn't know too much about me, and just really not interested in me or anything like me. And anyway, they said, no, our listeners wouldn't know you. And we said, well, up to 12 years ago, they used to play Lonnie Lee, and they played Lonnie Lee for 30 years, 40 years. And they said, oh, yes, no, but I looked on the computer, and you're not on the computer. And the reason why I'm not on their computer is because an American company bought it, put in a new computer system,
Right.
and has only got what they want on it, right?
Right.
So here's this station that so many of my fans listen to. They're never going to hear this song. They're never going to hear me because they say I'm over 28 or 32, so their listeners are not going to be interested in me, which is just not true at all. So
No,
it's
I mean,
difficult.
it's an indictment, probably. I think in many respects of society. I mean, and
True.
I have nothing to do whatsoever with any of the commercial stations.
Good on you.
I mean, I understand that they have a playlist that's 100 songs or 120, and they just keep regurgitating it.
That's right.
Well, what happens to all the great talents? I mean, there are so many talents around.
Yeah.
And I mean, you look. Well, for example, I mean, the classic example is you're here tonight. Tomorrow night in Perth is Pavarotti. Now, one of the great voices of all time.
Wonderful. Absolutely.
Who plays him?
Yes, I know. No one. That's right.
I mean, this is
Yeah.
one of the tragedies of, I
Yeah.
think, in the history of popular music, certainly
Yeah.
the way it's evolved of late.
Well, it's
And
money.
don't hear them.
It's money, Pete. The bottom line, you get down to it. In a way, if you can somehow transgress the need for radio. Now, Pavarotti, of course, he does get mentioned on talkback radio, and of course he gets a lot of press as well. I can't even get press. People like me, we don't even get press. I don't know whether I had a line in any newspaper here that I'm here or coming here, which is a shame. So it's a double barrel for us. But someone like Pavarotti or whatever from overseas, because you're from overseas, they do get that, and so they, in a way, they don't get the radio, and that's it. But if it's someone like me, it's very difficult to try and get through that stuff,
Now, you in a hurry?
No.
Because I've got a couple of little messages I've got to do before 11. Then we've got the news, and can you stay
yes,
for
I'll
15
hang around.
minutes afterwards?
Great.
Because I want to play that song.
Beautiful.
Okay, let's do this.
1960, now that song, that's written by a guy called Otis Blackwell. Now Otis Blackwell think, Otis who? But Otis wrote Don't Be Cruel.
Yep.
He wrote Return to Sender. He wrote Suspicious Minds. He wrote so many great songs, Paralyzed and all that. And he also gave me, there's a really sad story there. I guess about maybe 5 years ago, I was going to release some stuff. And so I tried to contact Otis. And they said, he's sick, he's had a stroke, and you can't contact him. So I said, that's a shame. And so they said, we'll put you onto his attorney. That the family they're just so broken up you can't even get to them. So I spoke to the attorney, who was actually a friend of Otis's anyway, and he said, look, Otis would just love you to continue to do it. Can we send you a cassette of his latest stuff that no one knows about yet because he's just sort of written and put them down just before the stroke? And so he sent me some stuff, which was just absolutely beautiful. But it turned out, just, I guess maybe a month later, I got back to the attorney and said, yes, I'd like to do a couple of these songs. And he said, go ahead and do it because I have the okay for you to do that. But I'd like you to know that Otis now can't speak. He can only move his
stroke.
Yes,
Yeah.
like a second stroke,
Yeah.
and I can only move his little finger. And yet he wrote this great song for Elvis called Paralyzed. I mean, it's real strange stuff going on there. But a very talented man. But that's also one of my favourite songs that I recorded.
Yeah. It was interesting. I didn't see the program last night, but Brendan was talking about it this morning. Channel 9, I think it was Channel 9, had a program on last night about the most influential songs in Australian rock and roll history. And Friday on My Mind was evidently voted the most influential. Would you put that up there with the best of them?
No, not really. I'm not knocking the song at all. I know the guys very well who wrote it, but no, I wouldn't put that. But I do understand why. It's because it was at the beginning of an era. It was like the second wave.
Yeah.
What really I was, and me and people like me, even Elvis and all that, we were like the exciting end of the crooner era, the 50s, the wonderful stuff that was going on there, that Johnny Ray and all that really epitomized. And then they came into a backbeat, and that of course was rock and roll, and that was it. Now, when it went down, when the new youth came through, and they were the baby boomers, because most of us guys were born in the late 30s or the early 40s, the very early 40s. Now the baby boomers were born after the war, most of them, because that's what the whole thing is about. Everyone came back from the war, they married and had kids and all that, and they came out with the second wave, which was, of course, was the Beatles, which was the English thing. Now in this country here, the first most successful group that came out, similar to the Beatles, were the Easy Beats.
The Easy Beats.
You know, of course,
Yeah.
you had Normie. You had
Yeah.
Normie Rowe, who was incredibly successful, and was the epitome of the pop star of that second wave. You know. And a few other guys, but no, I wouldn't really say that that song would deserve that. Was that over American songs and English songs?
And I think Australian songs.
Oh, Australian
I think
songs.
Australian songs, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have thought it's up there probably in the top 5, but
yes,
I think
definitely in the
there are
top
probably
5.
other songs. Hello, June. Yes, June. Well, you can talk to him. He's here.
Hello, June. Fine, thank you. Oh, okay. You would. Oh, bless his heart. Oh, oh, isn't that great? Oh, wonderful. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Mm. Thank you. Yeah. We'll come see you. Absolutely.
The Kalamunda Pub.
Good on you. Beautiful. Thank you for telling me that. That's wonderful.
Listen,
Oh, great. If you'd like to know what we're doing, and for others listening, if you have access to the internet, you can go to lonnielee.com, and that sort of shows the different places where we're at and what we're doing and all that stuff. lonnielee.com. Thank you, June. Thank you.
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Okay, so, well, you better let us know next time you're coming. Hello, Sharon.
Oh, dear, good. Are you gonna be good to me? Oh, thank you. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, thank you. Oh, great. No, they're not the original guys. I've had these guys, I guess, about, going on 8-9 years now. Yeah, but no, the original guys that go back like 40 odd years, two of them unfortunately died and during the process, and one is a Hollywood film director, and the other one is a music producer in the United States. So they're scattered all over the world. Mm. Thank you. Ah, that's the way. Oh, thank you so much for letting me know that. That's good, because entertainers go out and you do the show, and you got some sort of an idea naturally, whether you go over or not, and whether or not people accept your music. But it's really nice to hear it, not from an ego point of view, but that your song choices and that are on track, and that's great. Thanks for calling. Hmm? Yeah, some of them are. You can actually,
Adrian's got them. Yeah,
that's right.
Adrian,
Adrian at Abbott's, isn't it?
939 Sharon 9390 5552. 9390 5552.
There you go.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks so much.
Okay, now listen. I want to play this. This umpteen years ago, it was. I'm just trying to think. It must have been about 1960, and 6IX, as it was then, down on Mounts Bay Road, had a golden microphone award, which it gave away every year.
Yes.
Do you remember who the first winner was?
I think it was me, wasn't it? It was.
I found a new love. She is a true love. I found a new love to last me all of my life. I me all of my last, me all of my last, me all of my life. Holy, holy, holy Christmas. It's gonna be holy, holy.
Right, moving on with the entertainment. Our next guest, you might have seen him recently in the Long Way to the Top tour. This man is one of the pioneers of Aussie rock. We can remember him from 6 O'Clock Rock, we can remember him from Bandstand, and I don't know how that could be possible because he looks so bloody fabulous. Now, give it up please for that rocket legend, Mr. Lonnie Lee, come on!
Beautiful, wonderful to be here, lovely to see you all as well. I'm going to start up with a song that I wrote for Roy Orbison, a little thing called Holy Christmas. Trees with things on, bells that ding dong, shiny stars that light up every now and then, all colored, golden shingles, silver bangles, lots of pretty presents laying on the ground, lighted candles, pretty paper, stockings hanging, waiting on the shelf. Santa, glitter, glamour, pitter patter. Lots of children wondering what's he going to bring. He's going to bring some of his love for you and for me. He's going to bring many a wish that you wish come true. Young or older, soft or bolder, big or smaller children waiting all around. Santa, you and I know why the love flows and the feeling comes each time as we approach December. Trees with things on, bells that ding dong, shiny stars that light up every now and then, all colors, glimmer, glamour, pitter patter, tiny children wondering what's he gonna bring. He's gonna bring that for you and for me. It's gonna be many a wish that you wish come true. Dreams that you but just dream. It's gonna be holy, holy, holy Christmas. Holy, holy holiday. Holy, holy, holy Christmas. Holy, holy holiday. Thank you. You know, I'm from the rock and roll era, and of course still doing and some of that great music. And if you were around at the time, boy, oh boy, you'd love to hear it every now and then. Takes you back to all the good old times. But rock and roll and Santa Claus and Christmas have been together for a long, long time as well. And here's a great little rock and roll type Christmas song. I want you all to sing if you want to, if you know the words. If you don't know the words, doesn't matter, just throw anything in, because that's what I'm going to be doing. Okay, here we go. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell swing and jingle bell ring. Snowing and blowing and bushes of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell rhyme and jingle bell time. Dancing and prancing and jingle swear. In the frosty air. What a bright time. It's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time. It's a swell time to go riding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle up, pick up your feet. Jingle around the cloud. Mix and mingle with the jingling beat. That's the jingle bell rock. Here we go now. Jingle bell, jingle bell, snowing and blowing and bushes of fun. Now the jingle bell has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle around the clock. Mix and mingle with the jingling beat. That's the jingle bell rock. It's a bright time. It's the right time to rock your night away. Jingle bell time. What a swell time to go riding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle up, get your feet. Jingle around the clock. Mix and mingle with the jingling beat. That's the jingle bell rock. Jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell ring and jingle bell swing. Snowing and blowing and jingle bells wear. That's the jingle bell has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle around the clock. Mix and mingle with the jingling beat. That's the jingle bell. That's the jingle bell. That's the jingle bell rock. Yeah. Lovely to hear and watch you sing. Lovely to see all the kiddies as well. It's a wonderful place to have it, isn't it? Yes, tremendous. I may come down here next year and be sitting down there with you as well. Okay, we're gonna get everybody singing along here, and if you get your little sheet, because we're gonna hark the herald angels sing. Okay, I want you to all join in. Here we go.
Gonna look for something to eat.
Yeah.
Okay, tell Uncle John.
John! We'd like you something to eat!
John, Taylor's gonna come with me. This way.
Angels sing glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild. God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise. Joy in the triumph of the skies. Women jolly cause proclaim Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing glory to the newborn King. Hail the heaven born of peace. Hail the Son of righteousness. Light and light to all he brings. Praise him within his wings. Mild he lays his glory high. Born that man, born they die. Born to raise the sons of earth. Born to give sinners and birth. Hark the herald angels sing glory to the newborn King. God bless you. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year 2006. Anybody?
Give it up for the Rockabilly Legend, everybody! Big hand for Lonnie Lee. Come on, he's a legend. Oh, man, now, you got your candles, kids?
Some people call me a teenage idol. Some people say they envy me. I guess they've got no way of knowing how lonesome I get.
You ask me, did my lover hurt me? Can't you tell by the tears in my eyes? Can't you hear it in the way that my voice shakes? Can't you see it in my eyes? You ask me, do I still remember how she held me in her arms when the night was so bright and stars were shining bright? Can't you see it in my eyes? Her kiss set a flame in my heart. Her love feeling so sublime. And while I stood in this heavenly glow, she turned away and let me go. And still you ask me, do I love her? After all that's said and done, she's still the one. Can't you hear it in the way that my voice shakes? Can't you see it in my eyes? Her kiss set a flame in my heart. Her love brought a feeling so sublime. And while I stood in this heavenly glow, she turned away and let me go. And still you ask me, do I love her? After all that's said and done,